Are you an entrepreneur who's stuck in the 6 to early 7-figure range of revenue? I want to talk to you about some of the key assets that you can build that will actually break you out of that. You're going to be able to scale more easily, become more profitable more easily. You're going to achieve more impact with your business, and none of that is going to cost more of your time. In fact, it's going to take less of your time when you've got these 7 key assets in place. Now, before I cover the 7 assets, I want to use an analogy. What is a building, right? What is an actual building? When you look at a building that you walk past on the street, if you're not a builder, if you're not an architect, if you don't work in construction, it's got a front door, it's got windows, it's got walls, but realistically, that's kind of like how your brain perceives it as one thing. If you're an architect or you work in construction, you know that a building is actually multiple things layered on top of each other. There is a plumbing system, and if you take that out, the building's not very valuable. There's an electrical system, that's really important as well. There's a security system, there's a waterproofing system, there's a structural system that's holding it up. There are all these systems in place, and essentially a building is all those different systems that sit on top of each other to form what we call one thing, which is a building. Now, the same is true for a business. What is a business? Well, actually a business is multiple things that sit on top of each other. There are systems that make customers come in. There are systems that make customers feel happy. There is a culture that is binding the team together. There's intellectual property, which is the thing that makes your business unique and special. There are products and services, which is what you're actually selling. All these multiple things that stack on top of each other. And the more you understand what a business has, what are those key ingredients, the more you can build a business that can scale. So we call these the assets of your business. These are the systems or the assets that make up your business. And the more we can fine tune them and improve them, the better your business will be regardless of where you are in the world or what you're doing. The business will take on a life of its own. So there are 7 categories of assets that we need your business to have, and we're going to layer them on top of each other. And the more you can build out these 7 assets or these 7 asset categories, the more successful your business will be. So category number 1 is the intellectual property that your business has. Your business has content, it has methodologies, it has unique registered intellectual property, and that is some of the most important stuff that your business needs in order to be unique. Your intellectual property could be your methodology as to how you get the results. If you've documented that into a poster or into a report or into a book, right, that is a really powerful piece of intellectual property that your business can use no matter what it's doing. So for me personally, inside Dent, our business accelerator, we've got multiple books, we've got video libraries, we've got reports, we've got posters, right? All of that forms the basis of our unique intellectual property. When I was a kid, I worked at McDonald's. McDonald's had all sorts of intellectual property, content, media, all sorts of assets that essentially explained what the McDonald's business was all about, and that was its unique intellectual property, right? So that first base layer is exploring what is it that your business does that's special, that's unique, what are the stories, what are the methods, right? All of that stuff, if you can document it, if you can stick it on posters, if you can put it into libraries, if you can create video content, all of that is going to become your intellectual property. So all good businesses have intellectual property as one of their key assets. Category number 2 is your brand assets. Your brand assets are things like the look and feel of your business, the logo, the color palette, all of those things. There's the philosophy of your brand, right? So understanding what is the brand philosophy. If I said to you, just do it, you know that I'm talking about Nike. That's part of their philosophy. A great brand has a vision and a mission and an origin story. So that's all part of the philosophy. And also there's things called brand ambassadors. So if I said to you, Roger Federer is a brand ambassador, you might think, oh, he's a brand ambassador for On shoes. In fact, Roger Federer being a brand ambassador for On running added over 600 million to their valuation. So brand ambassadors are the types of people who can put their face on things and add value to the overall brand. So your brand assets are going to be the things like the people that you've got access to who are willing to be the face of your brand. It's going to be things like your look and feel, and it's going to be things like the philosophy of the brand itself. The more you document that into a brand guidelines book, the more your brand will scale. Category number 3 is what I call your market assets. These are the things that take you to market and put you in the market. One of those assets could be your positioning. So if you're an award winner, that positions you at a certain level. If you're the first on Google, that positions you at a certain level. If you've got 500 5-star ratings, that positions you at a certain level. If you're a best-selling author, that's positioning. So these are things that position you in the market. You might want to position yourself as luxury. You might want to position yourself as fast. You might want to position yourself as affordable, right? So you've got to figure out what is your position in the market and how do you reinforce that position with assets. You might also have channels to market. So you can formalize how you get to market through retail, through online, through direct mail, right? Whatever it is, you've got to have your channels to market. And the other one that's really important at the moment is your data. If you've got a big database, if you've got followers or subscribers, people who have given you permission to be on the database, that is a huge access to market, right? So unique data or unique channels or unique positioning are all things that make up your market position assets. And you want to formalize those things as much as you possibly can. Category number 4 is the product and service ecosystem. This is the group of products and services that your business makes its money from. You should be always improving and developing these. You want some very entry-level products and services to get people started with you. You want some full and remarkable products and services that make the bulk of revenue. You might want to have recurring revenue products and services like subscriptions or memberships, right? So you want to have an ecosystem of products and services, and you want to formalize that into documents so everyone can already see those. You might want to have landing pages, you might want to have brochures, you might want to have internal documents that your team use, right? So you want to formalize the product and service ecosystem that is going to generate the vast majority of all your revenue. The 5th category of assets are your systems and processes. You want to have a systems manual for how you make sales. You want to have a systems manual for how you look after clients. You want to have an operations manual for how you keep track of everything. You might want to have some dashboards where all the data and important information goes onto those dashboards. You might want to have standard operating procedures. In fact, ChatGPT is a really great way to get your first version of standard operating procedures that you can then customize, right? But you want to document your systems and processes so that you've got a particular way of doing things and everyone knows the way and sticks to the way so that your business is more scalable. Asset category number 6 is what we call your culture assets. Now, this is not your actual people. This is the stuff that makes the people show up in the first place. It's the stuff that keeps the team functioning as a high performance team. It might be the way you advertise for new roles. It might be the way that you onboard people. It might be the way that you measure performance. It might be your incentive structure. It might be the way that you build team culture. It might be the rhythm of meetings that you have and how you run those meetings. All of that basically goes into your culture, and you want to document that. You want to have a culture book that explains how your culture works. It might say that we do 90-day reset meetings. We do weekly Monday morning 3 to 6 meetings or Friday afternoon debrief meetings. It might say that we have these values as a team. It might say that this is what we do to onboard people in the first 90 days. It's all documented so that your culture is something that can replicate and scale and something that can create a high performance team no matter where you are in the world. And the 7th category of assets, what we call the funding assets. This allows you to access deep pockets as your business scales. So funding assets are all the financial documentation. It's all the stuff that helps to mitigate risks. It's all the stuff that is good governance that people want to see when they're going to fund you. You want to think about what would it be like to sit down with a professional investor who's going to put millions of dollars into the growth of your business. What are the things they want to see? What are the documents? They want to see a forecast. They want to see a business plan. They want to see good governance. They want to see risk mitigation. All of that can be documented. And if you do document that, it's going to make it very easy for you to continually access the funding you need as you grow, as you scale, or even when it comes time to exit. So those funding assets are going to be really, really powerful throughout the whole journey from startup to exit. So there you have it. Those are the 7 categories of assets. If you improve those assets, if you develop those assets and document those assets, you'll end up with a much more scalable business. It's going to be less stress. It's going to be more profitable. It's going to grow. You're going to have to spend less time and energy managing it. It's going to be more fun, right? So all of that stuff follows assets. A simple idea, income follows assets and stress follows asset deficiencies. So if you can plug up those asset deficiencies and create high quality assets, you're going to have a business that you absolutely love. If you enjoyed that, why don't you take the 24 assets assessment? You can go to 24assets.com. You can fill in a bit of information about your business and it takes you through a red, amber and green light assessment on 24 different assets across all of those 7 categories. And that will tell you specifically which assets you need to be working on in the coming weeks and months. If you're enjoying these videos, give it a like, give it a subscribe on this channel. I'm going to release some new videos soon, so stay tuned. And also I'm running some live workshops that you may want to register for as well. There'll be a link in the description below.